Hey there, this is Malorian. This is going to be a Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. 2,500 points. It's going to be my dwarves up against some Ogre Kingdoms. Now, with this here, I'm still trying to play around with my list, trying different things. I don't want to go all gun line. I still don't have enough models put together to go all combat. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so probably one of the first things I want to say is I actually have a lot of pictures for this battle report. Maybe once bitten would be proud, but really in this one here we got pitched battle. Just really threw down the terrain that was kind of on the board, so we didn't really roll for stuff. But there'll be a bunch of forests and buildings and walls and stuff like that. But either way, on this flank over here, I have a gyrocopter and 20 thunders with shields. Also my generals there, just a regular rune smith that has a shield, rune of stone, and also basically dispel scroll. Up there, he has a couple of units of the saber tusks in groups of 2. I would take them in singles, but he likes them in 2. Makes them a little bit more combat efficient. Then he also has a big unit of Mournfang that actually has a great weapons. Big unit then that has the iron guts there, and the big thing there that's a real difference is he has slag. So he's actually going with the special character, or scrag, sorry, and he's going to be having 4 gorgers coming off from the side. Otherwise, behind the tower there, he has the Iron Blaster, he has the Thunder Tusk, and then from over here, to finish off, might as well say his side, is he has a unit of bulls there with a BSB. I have an organ gun. I have warriors with shields, and then there's my BSB. He has a 1+ save and great weapon. Horde or great weapon warriors, flame cannon, regular cannon, nether gyrocopter, and then 30 hammers. I have 40. I just gotta build the last 10 there. But really my plan was here to more and just castle more on this right side. I am kind of more spread out for a castle because of this woods that turned out to be the poisonous one. But on the left side I do have the thunderers. Look like they're out on themselves. But what I plan to do is try and draw in units to go after them, and then I'll hop into the building at the last second. But otherwise, other than the gorgers that will be popping around, oh, and I also have 25 miners that'll come in. You can't really plan for those guys. Maybe if I would have castled a little bit more extremely, I could have. But the way it looks, I'm feeling pretty good anyway. So I get the first turn, and pretty much for my part, I'm just trying to get those hammers back in position. I shoot the flame cannon, do a ton of damage, man. I am so glad the flame cannon went back the way it used to be, and I gotta say, it is so deadly against ogres. Going that far, beating a flame template, strength 5, D3 wounds, yeah, it's an ogre killer. Otherwise, gyrocopters flying around. Other shooting didn't do so great. The cannon went and rolled a 1 to wound, and the organ gun got a misfire and did like 1 shot that missed. On his turn, this one kind of surprised me. He did a little bone grinder breaker spell, and like this thing's like strength 2. Sure, it ignores all armor saves, but I mean you got to roll 6s. He got like 5 hits and rolled 4 6s, so it happens. Otherwise, he's moving up here. He has kind of something interesting here where the Mournfang is moving up to threaten. He has the saber tusk there ready to kind of threaten me there as well, the gyrocopter. But the thing is, if I fly behind them, you can see those saber tusks back there to kind of cover me again. So yeah, I'm going to have to be a little bit careful over here. Otherwise, what happens is he's really just moving on up. He does some shooting at me. It kind of fails. But the biggest thing he does that really hurts is that those bulls that I kind of already shot and did a lot of wounds to, they just reform and take off. So it turns out that force there is the one that makes you cause fear, which they don't really care about. But all of a sudden, my hammers are feeling really out of position. The next thing we realize is where his shooting had failed, we remember that the Iron Blaster can re-roll the bounce, and with that he gets the flame cannon and destroys it. So that really hurts. Just looking at this picture here, I'm really wishing now that I'd put it behind the wall to protect it from cannons. A little bit of deployment mistake on my part, but yeah, would have really loved to have another shot from this guy. Otherwise, next turn, my miners come on, and they're going to be right here to threaten the Iron Blaster. They still have to reform the turn, but, I got to shut down the Iron Blaster as soon as possible. Otherwise, over here, I go for the bombing run on these guys. So the plan was, because I wanted to march block the Mournfang. So I got to be within 8, so I can't go to the other side. So what I do is I go and I do the bombing run and go on this side, because if I can just kill one of them, they're at least a 4 to run off the board. Unfortunately, I just do 1 wound, so yeah, I'm in some trouble. So after everything, it looks like this. My Thunderers are now inside the building with the Runesmith. I do some shooting into the Iron Guts, do some wounds there. But yeah, probably the biggest, sneakiest thing I did is the right gyrocopter just kind of moved up to get behind the Ogres there. Actually, a bombing run on them too. But its positioning is pretty key because it's making it hard for them to reform and face my miners. So it's just kind of being there to be in the way. On his turn, he actually charges here to the building. I do a stand and shoot, do some wounds. But, I don't feel too bad about this because I'm pretty defensive in there, with 4+ armor and a 5+ parry. So he can do that all he wants, and then I can start whittling him away. Over here, of course, he charges into the gyrocopter. And yeah, then these scary guys start to come on. So one Gorger comes back here. And another one annoyingly comes over here. So what happened is that the BSB ditches to try and help out on the other flank. Then these guys can just be free to wheel around. Iron Blaster moves up and the Gorger's there too. So miners have their fill. He sends a cannon shot at this organ gun and destroys it. And in the charge over here, I hold. So that's really nice. I had hoped to do a wound to him and kill off that last guy. But hey, if I'm going to hold, I'm perfectly happy with that. Over here, he beats up some of my guys. But man, he just really whiffed. Now, one of the things I kind of forgot about is that Scrag, his big thing is the more guys he kills, the better he and his Gorgers get. So he wants to just slaughter guys here. But I made my parries like a madman. He only ends up killing 3 guys. I do 3 back. Before we remembered he had to do stomps, I was actually going to win combat. So I got really lucky. But yeah, I got to watch out for this because he's going to start racking up those kills and making his Gorgers better. Over here, I decide that I'm going to charge the Ogres, and then I can hopefully overrun so that he can't see me with the Gorger. And I also charge the Iron Blaster in a flank with the Gyrocopter. I'll have a charge, I'll have a flank. He can't fight with the Rhinox, so, this could work out really well for me. Otherwise, over here, he beats me, I run away, but I get away, so, he's going to catch me next turn, but hey, at least I'm forcing him to chase me. Over here, we do no wounds to each other. He's on Leadership 5 rerolled and makes it. So that really sucked. And then overall, it looks like this. I killed the Ogre, and because of where the last one he took ended up being, I actually had to run into the forest. That's not the way I planned it. He was actually kind of sneaky with the way that we took it off, or maybe it wasn't intended. But yeah, the Mournfang are coming in, but the Mournfang are actually a little bit stuck. Because where they are, they're behind the bulls, or the Iron Guts, and whereas he had done that on purpose so that he could still be, not showing his flank and all the rest of it, now he's actually trapping in his army. So that's working pretty good, and yeah, look at those poor hammerers. They really wish they could do something helpful. So in his turn, he runs down my gyrocopter. Over here, he charges into the building again, and what else can I do, right? Just keep on trying to kill more Iron Guts. Over here, he charges into the flank with the 1 Gorger, and that's not too bad. It's not going to break me. I have enough attacks. My BSB can come over and mess him up too. He also goes into the rear of the miners, and here, I'm not really worried about. I'm pretty high strength. I can deal with him and hold out. He also has a nether gorger, then show up over here. And the last one comes behind the cannon. Now, the thing I also, these guys have killing blow, and so he only gets through one hit, and he rolls the 6. So it goes right through my 1+ armor save. Oh, and what can you do, right? This stuff happens. And now this is really bad because, of course, no reroll and no more big great weapon attacks attack this guy. So this was a real kick in the nuts. So a bit of a crappy picture here, but basically he comes in, and this is where I realized I made a big mistake. You know, I decided not to flee the charge, and now I really wish I did because I just didn't think of all the numbers. You know, I thought, oh, I'll beat him up with my great weapons. I got ranks, I got banner. I'll just turn around and kick his butt. Well, you know, he has so many attacks and the stomp and the charge and the rear that he actually win combat, and I'm actually just lucky to hold. So all of a sudden this one Gorger really is threatening to kill my entire miner unit. Meanwhile, over here, you know, he kills a few more guys from the building, but I'm holding out. The Gorger there, I did 1 wound to it, and then I reformed just to get horde attacks on it. And the board looks like this. So the Thunder Tusk turned around to look. You know, this time here, I beat his thing again, the Iron Blaster, and it, again, Leadership 6 re-rolled. He made it. So, man, you know, I could easily be getting lots of points here, but it's just not working out. So, yeah, either way, really happy. You know, my great weapons are about to get there. Hammerers, I really wish they were closer. But, you know, at this point, I'm still feeling okay. You know, things have kind of fallen off the rails, but I'm still in a good spot. So on my turn, I get the charge off here, and it works well because with the building, I can't get all the way across, so I'm only going to be fighting 4 guys. Over here, I get a nice cannon shot that kills 1 Mournfang, also hits the BSB. Unfortunately, there only does 2 wounds. So, you know, that could have been like the dream shot, but I'll take it. Otherwise here, yeah, you know, I kill basically all of those Iron Guts turn into a red mist. He breaks, I chase, but he gets away by a whole bunch. I tried shooting those Saber Tusks with the Thunderers, just whiffed all my dice, so that really sucked. And still trying to fight that Gorger. Otherwise, over here, yeah, still fighting that Gorger. He just hasn't moved his guy up, but yeah, we're still fighting, and I'm still barely holding on. And again, I beat this Iron Blaster by 1. Still won't break. It's just, come on. He's now made 1 Leadership 5 rerolled and twice Leadership 6 rerolled. So this Iron Blaster is just stubborn as all hell. So overall, this is what the board's looking like, and you know, I'm feeling okay. I would feel a lot better if I would have killed Scrag, but it's still going okay. Until this happens, and it's like, oh, damn it. You know, those Mournfang were in my flank. I just totally missed that. And yeah, now that I see that, these shield warriors are screwed. Plus, there's another Gorger fighting them, so it's really bad. Over here, the Thunder Tusk comes into my gyrocopter, and we all know what's going to happen here. And this guy charges my cannon, and this one's actually a little bit funny. What happens here is he actually whiffs all of his attacks. And with the poison attacks, I do a wound to him, and it's like, wow, I'm going to win this combat. And yeah, it's kind of weird. So there you go. There's the wound, and it was just like, this should not be happening. I mean, with the wounds that Scrag's done so far, he also has another attack, and yeah, just sometimes you whiff. Otherwise, over here, get my butt kicked, but at least I hold. Over here, Gyrocopter dies, and the miners break, but he only rolls a 4. So I'm like, yes, I'm going to get away. Nope, I roll a 4 too, and the miners are all dead. So up here, things are just falling apart. I mean, meanwhile, I thought the Gyrocopter was going to beat that Iron Blaster easy. Dice said no. And yeah, basically because of a mistake on my part with the miners, I've lost that whole unit to 1 Gorger. So, ugh, really not going well. Otherwise, over here, things are now turning around for me because these Hammerers, who have been basically out of the game because of my opponent's good move, make a long charge into the flank of the Mournfang, and this is exactly what I need to get back in this game. Over here, he set up the two saber tusks to be in my way to block me, and probably what he should have done is double fled, but instead he just decides to take this on the nose. Over here, he now does what he's supposed to do and destroyed my cannon. I should have been probably destroyed last turn or something like that, so don't feel too bad here. And otherwise, the way it worked is I killed all but one saber tusk, and again, because of how you pursue center to center, I have to go this way, right? I would love to kill Scrag, I would love to kill that BSB, but if I don't chase, they're just going to run away out of my line of sight. So I decide to chase, try and get the points I can, and I get it. Catch the dog, and at least there's like a few points. So otherwise, the board looks like this. Yeah, those Mornfang turn into a red mist. That was, because we're charging in. We're strength 7 because we're +1 strength on the charge. He's only having a 3+ save, so I just smash all the way through it. That makes it so we're out of combat, so we just overrun to get to where we are now. But yeah, he's killing those shield warriors pretty good. Looking at it now, okay, what I hoped was going to happen is that if I stayed where I was, I just could not get to those gorgers. I overran, hoping I'd go just like, the average, 6 or 7 inches, and then I could get to the gorgers from the other side. But I rolled a 12, and I'm just super far away. So otherwise, Scrag, to get away from everything, charges like basically the back of the building so the hammers can't see him, and he's just trying to kill off these guys here. And he actually does something sneaky where he again goes for the Bone Crusher. I figure it won't do anything. Actually kills like 3 guys. And the biggest thing about this is the fact that now I only have 10 guys, so my Runesmith has to be in the fight and he can attack me. So really good move on my opponents here. Over here he costs the Great Maw and kills tons of my hammerers. And yeah, in a combat, killing blows the Runesmith, and yeah, that's both my characters dying to a killing blow, and that's just points I'm giving away. So otherwise, it looks like this. The shield warriors broke, he ran them down, and yeah, I just got to get some more points here, because it's getting to the end of the game. The BSB is on 1 wound, so hopefully I can get that, but otherwise, apart from that, this is all I have left. So on my turn, that's basically what I do. Combat units reform. Thunderers shoot the BSB, kill it, get some points there. On his turn, he charges the Gorger into a flank here, which was really a mistake because you're not going to break me, and there's a pretty good chance I'll kill you back. He gets off another one of these Maw spells and kills a bunch of the warriors over there. And then otherwise, that's pretty much how it ends. He charges into the building again, kills a few guys, but not enough to matter. I destroy the Gorger that charged in, and that's really it. So there you go. When we're all done, I was really worried because he killed a lot of my stuff. And so I was just hoping, actually, that I get a draw or something. And as we added it all up, it was within 100 points, so I got the tie. So I was really happy for that. But wow, what a nice, bloody game. Stuff dying all the way across. One of the things I really noticed from my side, the mistakes that I made, is that when I made my castle, I was way too spread out. Like I talked about, I should have really condensed it more, because with those Gorgers, really, if I would have really castled, he doesn't really have a lot of spots to do anything, especially if I keep it extremely tight. He just does not have the room to really get those Gorgers in there. No matter what else I did, yeah. Another big part, too, is now that I knew that I was up against those Iron Blasters on the other side, I should have had my War Machine set up behind the woods, or not the woods, the wall, just because, if it hits the wall, it stops the cannonball, so I should have done that as well. But it was just interesting. I really liked the game. Like I can't say enough. It was a really good move on my opponent where he first put those Ogres there. I put the Hammers to deal with them. I was like, oh, that's going to be an easy fight. And then he just takes off, right, to Swift Reform. And my Dwarves are so slow, I just couldn't do anything. I was actually lucky that those Hammerers, marching as fast as I could, got a long bomb charge and got back in the game. So, in a way, I'm pretty lucky I at least got the tie. But loving the Dwarves, having lots of fun. I know I had a request to go and use the Anvil of Doom. I tried using it in the list here, but man, it's such a waste of points. So Kyle, the guy who suggested, if you want to see that, you got to play against me. And I know you live in the same town, so that's what you want to see. Bring it on. But you're going to get an easy win where I'm wasting like 300 points. But either way, there you go. I had lots of fun. Hopefully you liked watching it, so we'll catch you next time. Bye.